heart pumping, muscles extending. Every body is a miracle. And though we share so much, everybody is unique. What's your passion? Hold on to it. We're here to help with a personalized approach to a healthier you. Hawaii Pacific Health.
And welcome back to the Classic. It's game number 4 of the night, the nightcap. Etiwanda Eagles, who came into the year Max Prep preseason number 1. They've dropped a few spots, dropped a couple games over the start of the year, but they are here in Honolulu for the first time here for the girls tournament. It's the 40th annual Iolani Prep Basketball Classic, presented by Hawaii Pacific Health. My name's Carter Wechi. I'll be joined alongside by Dean Shimamoto in just a little bit. Etiwanda coming to us from Rancho Cucamonga, California, getting set to take on the Mililani Trojans. The Trojans, coached by Coach Kyle Kurosaki, who's not here today. Daryl Kawamoto is going to be the acting head coach tonight. I got to talk to him a little bit. He wants his girls to go out there, have some fun, see what it's like challenging these girls from Etiwanda, one of the top teams in the nation. The first 3 games have all gone final. Long Island Lutheran defeated Punahou 105-22. In the second game, Pinewood defeated Hanalani 60-38. And in the last game, the host Iolani Raiders defeated HBA 78-35. And here we are, half court, the 2 teams meeting up. Coach Dean, you ready for the last one?
Ready for this one. We've had some good ones, some blowouts, some contested games through early parts of the game or through the middle. Hanalani gave Pinewood quite a run and, extended that even into probably about the middle of the third quarter. And even HBA through the first part of the first quarter was giving Iolani a great run. So we've seen these stretches of teams who obviously end up losing by a significant margin, really being able to hang early on with some of these better teams, Iolani, Pinewood. Long Island Lutheran was pretty dominant throughout most of that game, and you can't fault Punahou for that. Long Island Lutheran is a tough team, and they'll make it pretty far, I think, in this tournament. I guess already in the semifinals, they and Pinewood should be a good matchup. I'm giving the edge still to Long Island Lutheran. But Etiwanda, the other ranked team, the returning national champions. So what's to come, I think, is the most exciting. And this is not just ranked teams. These are teams that have championship histories, and you're going to see what Etiwanda is all about here tonight. And again, after seeing Long Island Lutheran and knowing what's coming potentially down the line, it does build that excitement for a potential matchup down the road.
I was talking to Coach Stan DeLuce before the game, and he was talking about how that championship pedigree you were talking about. He said Aliana Morris, who you can call Puff, their senior point guard, she has a chance to be the most decorated player in girls basketball in California history if they are able to get their sectional, regional, and state championship. Then she could potentially have 10 championships to her name.
That's a lot. That's a lot of winning. And, man, that's a lot of winning.
And in the 7 championships she has so far, she has that national championship that you talked about. And on that team, coming back, Grace Knox as well. They lost the great Gatorade Player of the Year in California last year, Kennedy Smith, and Michael Richards, who, if you're a UH Wahine basketball fan, you saw her last week when they played UH. I don't know if that was an upset. I didn't pay attention to the preseason Big West polls, but they came in to Stan Sheriff right down the road from us, and they defeated the Wahine, and Richards played a big part in that. She was the Southern Section Defensive Player of the Year last year. And 2 big losses, as Coach DeLuce pointed out before this game. So the starters are getting named for Mililani, Zen Nelson, Amelia McDaniel, Akemi Kawamata, Kelsey Ota, and Autumn Lagafuaina. Then for the Etiwanda Eagles, Erin Finley, Leah Phillips, Shayna Brew, Grace Knox. Also shout out to her, it's her birthday today. Aliana Morris. In the circle, Grace Knox standing at 6'3". Autumn Lagafuaina standing at 5'9". Coach Daryl Kawamoto pointed out, you can look at us, and you can see that we're not a tall team, so we're just going to have to battle with them as much as we can. Grace Knox wins the tip, and Puff Morris has the ball here in game number 4. Brew has it. She'll take a 3. Come up short. Second chance here. Come down with by Phillips. They go left wing. Finley in and out. Another chance there. Phillips, a 4th chance. And that one goes.
Sometime with a team with this significant of a height advantage, your best offense could often be just getting the shot around the rim and have it land somewhere within the vicinity. Take advantage of that height. You saw 2 shots miss from long range and 2 offensive rebounds and then an easy putback on the second.
Kawamata with it. Down to the hands of Lagafuaina. Driving. Nelson, her shot no good. Rebound taken by the Eagles. Shayna Brew head up.
Eagles playing with a lot of patience, getting into their sets. We saw it with Long Island Lutheran, really pushing that transition, getting up the floor quickly, getting a lot in transition. Etiwanda working on their set, working on the action, kicking it out for a 3.
Erin Finley hits that 3. Nelson had the ball fake. Got the layup up, but couldn't finish. Finley on the other end can't finish that reverse. Phillips again working. This is their 3rd opportunity here. Knox working on the smaller Ota. He's all the way around the cup with the putback up and in.
Etiwanda with that long press, zone press, 1-2-1-1, looking to trap those deep corners. So you want to keep yourself out of those locations where the sideline and the end line can serve as extra trappers. Easier said than done against teams with this type of quickness and discipline and size.
The pass tipped out of bounds by the Eagles. Trojans will keep possession. Kawamata orchestrating the offense here. She gets it back on the right wing to switch on to her. 10 seconds on the shot clock. They find the cutting McDaniel. He gets a nice bounce off the backboard and off the rim for the first basket of the night for the Trojans.
We've seen some nice execution out of the Trojans earlier. Were able to break the press, got a late transition, couldn't score, and then even on that half-court set, beautiful curl cut, nice find, great finish.
Shayna Brew will pick up that foul there.
You know, in a game like this where you're clearly outmatched, you're looking for moments. Times where when you run things properly, whether it's defensively or offensively, where you can find some success. Because again, there's no teams in the OIA West that are gonna be like Etiwanda. You're not gonna face players like this. So when you say, hey, we were successful against this team, it just proves that you can be successful if you execute properly against any team, especially in Hawaii, right?
And also for these Trojans, they're missing two of their big pieces, Brooke Kurosaki as well.
And Shania Wilson. Yeah, so Shania Wilson got injured during that game, actually against the host Iolani Raiders. Two of their top scorers. Brooke Kurosaki has the opportunity to come back hopefully later this year, and possibly Shania Wilson as well.
On that drive down the baseline, Ota picks up a foul. And that's Shayna Brew's second foul. The senior Brew will have to play with 2. Unless she's about to get taken out right here. As Andrea Alamo will check in for Brew. 9-3 here in the first quarter, 4:29 left. Etiwanda with the early lead. And Ota gets both of them to drop. She has 2 points.
When you do have injuries, it takes a little bit of time to get used to that. If you're the other players on the team, over the course of the summer and even through past seasons, you're used to filling a role depending on who else is on the floor with you. And when you have 2 main scorers off the floor, other players need to pick up that slack, and they need to fill into different roles that they're not used to. So it takes some time to figure out, hey, where am I going to get my shots? These are shots I usually wouldn't take. I may need to take them now.
Eagles force a turnover there. Use their length to get in the passing lanes. Coming back in transition is Knox, and she's hit on the way up. Goes on Kawamata. Grace Knox, mentioned earlier. Happy birthday to her. The LSU signee, ranked number 6, according to ESPN's top seniors here for the girls. 5-star, number 2 wing in the country. Gets both free throws to go. Pushing the tempo, Nelson tried to throw it up with her left, too strong. Rebound taken by the Eagles. And Morris is off and running. Floater from the free throw line is good.
Nelson for the Trojans has been able to get to the rim and around the rim, not able to finish. Maybe take a couple extra counts. Again, she's playing against some size that you can't simulate in practice. You can say, hey, there's going to be some big girls. You might be able to use some brooms to simulate that height, but not able to find it. And again, in that half court, Mililani able to make the right cut, the right pass, and get the finish. So these moments are keeping them within 7 in this game.
13-6, 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. Finley with the ball, uses a screen from Phillips. And on the roll, her shot blocked out of bounds by Kelsey Ota.
Really like what Ota has done here tonight. She's been the top of the press breaker, has thrown it over a couple times, given her team some opportunities. She knocked down a couple free throws. You saw her get that block on the recovery on the screen and roll action by Etiwanda.
Now Knox at the elbow, turnaround jump shot, no good. Rebound taken by the Trojans. Here's Kawamata bringing it into the front court.
We talked about who was going to pick up the scoring deficit that was left with Wilson and Kurosaki, and it's Kawamata. She's done it in the past games, and you see her ability there. One-on-one, picking up the matchup with Knox, but able to get an opening, and she makes them pay.
And the Eagles will call a 30-second timeout. We'll keep it here. Trojans with that 3-ball cut the lead to 4. Kawamata has 3. McDaniel has 4 as well. Ota has the 2 free throws and that block shot before that last possession. These Trojans coming out with the fight. Maybe the Eagles, a little jet lagged maybe.
Eagles moving a little slow. They kind of have that swagger about them, a little bit of cool. Different than what we saw earlier in the evening with Long Island Lutheran, hitting the floor loud during warm-ups. These girls on the Eagles side just look smooth. They got the hair. It's locked. It's good. They're a little bit more deliberate offensively, working their sets, working the clock. I think they have an idea of how this game is going to go, and it's just kind of easing their way into it. But the Trojans, not letting them do that. Putting them on notice that they're here. They're just a 4-point game. They're doing a nice job.
And there's a turnover there by the Eagles. Trojans will bring the ball up. Kawamata has knocks on her. Crossover dribble, stops at the elbow. Kick out. They'll reset things here. That pass broken up and stolen away by Finley. Can't finish. Followed by Morris, is blocked by Manuel. And more contact, and the Trojans will be called for a foul. They'll go on Kelsey Ota. But Manuel freshly into the game, showing off her length.
That's how they have to play. They have to play physical. If they just let it happen, let Etiwanda take over, be more physical than them, you cannot win that battle. They're already outsized. Probably a bit of an athleticism difference. So physicality is something that you can handle, you can control. And that has to happen in order for them to have a chance. So you don't mind that foul if you're a coach or a member of that Trojan team.
Finley knocks down both. The lead grows back up to 6. Ota breaks the press, 3-on-2. She finds Nihe, but Hawkins erases that shot.
Again, not much you can do about that. They made the right play. They broke the press. It was a 3-on-2 or a 3-on-1. They passed it to the right person. But keep attacking. Continue to make the right plays and take good shots. Some of them are going to fall. We saw Nelson get around the basket earlier. She learned. She shot the floater this time instead of getting all the way to the rim.
Knock working on Kawamata. Kick out Finley for 3. Misses it long. Rebound last touch by Trojan. So second chance here for the Eagles. Now checking in Lisa Stewart. Out goes Knox. And also coming in, Cristo Serrano.
Etiwanda Eagles working through that action. They're getting good looks at the rim. They're squared up. They're on balance. Just not able to get them to go. Again, their best offense in a lot of cases has been either in some transition or grabbing rebounds.
Right there, Nihe steps into the path of Morris, picks her pocket. Kawamata leading, drop off over to Manuel, her baseline jumper too strong. And here comes Alamo pushing the pace. Behind the back dribble, Serrano for 3. Comes up short, Hawkins working that offensive glass. Gets fouled. 2 shots at the free throw lineup coming for her.
Really credit the coaching staff by the Trojans. Defensively, they've been tough. They've been in front. They've stayed in their lanes. You saw the steal on the last possession, just being in the correct help position. They forced some initial misses. It's the rebounds that have been a problem, but not much you can do about that. You're giving up so much size that the rebounds, you're going to have to just fight as hard as you can. Daniel's there. I mean, Manuel really working on the inside, drew a foul, but again, you have to play that way.
Hawkins splits the pair as Kawamata brings the ball into the front court. A 10-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Kawamata looking for some help. Bounce pass over to Nelson, swings it to Manuel on the baseline. And on her drive, gets fouled on the way up. 2 shots upcoming for Alex Manuel.
Kawamata picked up the assignment of having to handle the ball here at the top of the key. She did an incredible job. She has her eyes up, maneuvering players around, not turning it over, making the right pass that led to that action. 2 great passes, and then you have an opportunity. Manuel, again, being aggressive, being physical, getting to the rim, forcing the action.
Now Kawamata will get a little break. A little extended break with the end of the quarter upcoming. Manuel splits the pair. And the Eagles running now. And steps are called on Stewart.
There
Juggling the ball.
Yeah, there you saw it once again. Trojans just getting in the way. you know, make Etiwanda make a play. Make the offensive player, make the right decision, make the right play, and if they don't, then maybe you can earn a possession back.
6.1 seconds left in the first quarter. Trojans will have the ball in front of the Eagle bench.
Most important thing here is to take that last shot, not give the Eagles another opportunity.
They get it in near half court. McDaniel will heave. I think the clock kind of sped up in her head a little too much.
That's all right. Just keep it in front here.
And the Eagles will let the final 1.2 seconds run out in the first frame. Etiwanda up 16-12 over Mililani. We'll be back after this break.
Rox, what's going on over there? Come on. Some kind of orangey stuff.
I think it's orange oil.
Orange oil? What's that about?
For termites.
We should do that. But I don't think our guys do that.
So why don't we get the right guys?
At Pest Tech Hawaii, we offer orange oil treatment as an alternative to tent fumigation. So let our guys be your guys.
We're Pest Tech Hawaii.
Welcome to Hilo, Hawaii, where the water is as pure as the aloha that flows through it. Waiakea water is naturally alkaline, full of minerals and electrolytes, and always giving back to our planet and people. Live aloha, drink Waiakea.
Back here in the lower gym, 8 minutes of game. The Trojans find themselves down by 4. It's the Etiwanda Eagles, ranked number 9 in the country, as Finley picks the pocket, and out pushing the break, it's Cristo Serrano.
Yeah, one of the few easy opportunities there for the Eagles. They come out in this hard press. Mililani did a good job. They got it. It wasn't pretty, but they found their way now into the front court with an opportunity to get a bucket.
Manuel has it, swings it over to Nelson, steps into a 3, and hits it over Hawkins. Zen Nelson with 5 points. The lead cut to 3.
What a shot by Nelson. I didn't think she had any chance of getting that off with the 6'3" Hawkins and those long arms coming right at her.
Finley buries that 3 to answer. She has 8.
Nelson nearly picked up a charge there and very easily could have been called, taking away that 3. But she's feisty, and being feisty is every bit you need. I think you mixed Kawamata and her ability and her resolve. Manuel playing physical, Nelson just kind of getting in and around the rim and finding ways to be effective.
Manuel on that baseline drive, met at the top by Finley. And Finley, when she was touching the ball, was out of bounds. So now there's a chance here with 9 seconds on the shot clock. Nihe gets it into Kawamata. Stops at the free throw line. Left wing for McDaniel. The shot is thrown up by Nihe. It was blocked and the rebound taken by the Eagles. Morris tried the dump off to Phillips. That was broken up and stolen away by Kawamata.
High IQ play by Kawamata. Saw the action, read what was going to happen, and was able to get that steal on the dump off.
Nelson on that drive, too strong. Pushing it right back at them. Shayna Brew. Now Manuel. Bounce pass over to Nihe. Last touch by an Eagle. Deflected out of bounds.
Trojans did a nice job of breaking that press, getting through, ended up with a 3-on-1 or 3-on-2 opportunity. But Hawkins there on the backside, not the easiest person to go against.
Manuel catches the inbound. It's contact immediately from Aaliyah Phillips.
One bit of concern, if you look at the Trojans, they're breathing really heavily. The fatigue starting to set in. Giving up those easier baskets. Defense not as tough, not able to stay in front just as much. And that's what happens sometimes when you go against better athletes. Every time they run, every time you bang them and try to keep up, their fatigue drops less than yours does.
That pass broken up and intercepted by Finley. Can't finish with the left. Second chance here for Phillips. There's a contest from Ota. Phillips just too big there. Manuel stops on the left block. Took an extra couple of steps there before making her mind up. Trying to shoot that over Phillips. Gets called for steps.
Manuel there on the receiving end on the backside. I think she sees those holes. She feels like she needs to attack, but if she can maintain that possession and give her team the opportunity to rest a little bit offensively, she attacks that. Yes, there's an opportunity to score, but also if you miss, then you got to get back in transition and no time to really settle and feel like you've rested and get your win back. So sometimes just pulling it out, letting your guards come back, resetting it, even though you may not get a 2-on-1 still, you still have the chance to retain it.
Leah Phillips hits the first free throw. Now hits the second. She has 6. Lead grows up to 12. 27-15, 4:45 left in the first half. McDaniel with the left wing. That pass broken up. Held ball. Phillips and Lagafuaina.
Etiwanda more or less staying home. Not a lot of help defense sitting in drive lanes. They're locked up on the next pass, forcing the offensive player to go one-on-one and try and get a bucket, which is a tall task, tall order. And then you have some size on the backside, maybe to have some help, but one pass away, they're up in the passing lanes.
And Puff Morris hits the triple. Now doubling the Trojans here, 30-15. Kawamata now has Finley on her hip. Bounce pass over. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Kawamata spin, lost the handle. And hitting the deck was Finley.
Just got caught in a bad spacing situation. 2 players in the same area, and that means 2 defenders are in the same area, so lost the handle in the crowd.
Brew 3 ball, no good. Knox fighting for the offensive rebound. It falls into Phillips' hands. Bounce pass over to Brew at the elbow. Kick out, Knox for 3. Hits it. Grace Knox with 9 as the Trojans call a 30-second timeout.
Good timeout call here. You could see the fatigue setting in. Again, the defense not as tight, not in the lanes quite as much, and then ball goes up, and then they have to fight and they have to bang again. So tough. You're going to have to use these timeouts the best you can. You only get 5, and it doesn't feel like enough in a lot of cases. And even during this 30-second, they don't have the opportunity to even sit down. But Mililani, through this early part, about a quarter and a half, they've had some great moments. And we talked about having those moments and try to stack as many as possible. But at the end of the day, against a team like Etiwanda, this is the opportunity for them to build and build and build. And they'll get into league play. They'll have to play teams like Campbell, who's been so great in the OIA, Radford. And in order to do this, they just need to just keep working, keep finding more and more of these moments.
For a backcourt violation there. Say no tip by an Eagle.
Looked like there may have been a deflection, but sometimes it's the angle, and you don't get to see it right, and can't fault the referees for that.
Brew uses a screen from Phillips. Finley thought about a three. Now gives it to Knox. Give and go. Now down to Phillips for the corner three. Shot is long. Falls out of bounds. Last touch by an Eagle. And Finley almost jumped that inbounds pass there. Tips it out of bounds.
Kawamata sneaking some rest here. But you see how different it is when she's not in the game to go just even receive the ball against this press, this man-to-man, much less having to bring it up. It's a different experience, but you can see her there sitting at the end of the bench, just tired.
Volta gets it into Nelson. They're clearing it out. Is Nelson able to get into the front court herself? Nelson crossover dribble into the paint. Stops, pivots. Shot too strong. And Brew with the board. Now pushing the ball up. Stops at the elbow. Gets it back at the right wing here. Alamo driving baseline. Kick out. Knocks for three. Offensive rebound caught by Serrano. Alamo for three. Comes up short. Rebound taken by McDaniel. Four hands on the ball. Held ball possession to the Trojans.
Mililani doing a great job of help defense. You see an opening and then it closes, and they have players out in lanes, rotating, scrambling. Again, forcing a contested shot, but it's been those rebounds that have been the problem for them. Finishing those plays, and that'll improve over the course of the season, realizing that you can get that initial stop, and how do you need to finish it? It doesn't end until you've got the ball in your hand, so don't stop that possession. Don't stop that effort.
Another tie-up this time goes in favor of Etiwanda. Now, Akemi Kawamata checks back in. Also checking in for the Eagles, Lisa Stewart, Kellis Hawkins. Under 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Etiwanda 33, Mililani 15. Alamo with it, swings it across. Stewart for three, too strong. Rebound goes over the top of Hawkins. Nelson ends up with it. Now McDaniel into the front court. Oto is trapped, gets out of the corner. Nelson for three. Front rim, no. Rebound taken by Serrano. Already looking up ahead. Gets it to Puff Morris. Nice little drop off there for Lisa Stewart. Stewart's in the box score with 2 points.
Etiwanda, great job of getting the stop defensively. Trojans had a decent look from three, quality offensive possession. They were trapped early, got it out, found the kick opposite, not able to cash in, and Etiwanda immediately turned that back into offense.
Whereas the pass is jumped by Stewart. Stewart loses the handle. To the deck they go. Held ball, possession in favor of the Trojans. So 6.8 second difference between shot clock and game clock here for the Trojans. As Ota will now bring the ball up. Bounce pass over to Worsley. Now Ota with the right wing, uses a screen from Worsley. Her pass, last touch by McDaniel. Deflected off an Eagle, then onto McDaniel's hand.
Trojans are going to need more off-ball movement, popping out just a little wider to make that pass easier. Etiwanda sitting in those lanes, a lot of length on the arms, able to get the deflections.
Morris pushes it into the paint. Her shot no good. Rebound taken by Nelson. 10 seconds to go. And Nelson is fouled in the backcourt by Puff Morris. That's her second foul.
Puff Morris. Yeah, Puff Morris just one foul, and team just two, so not in jeopardy of her getting in foul trouble or the team going into the bonus. So just took a chance trying to get that steal.
3-on-2 fast break here. Where's a shot blocked by Hawkins? And that'll do it for the first half. Your score: Etiwanda 35, Mililani 15. First 16 minutes of the game. What are your thoughts?
I can see the score now at 20 points, 35-15. Etiwanda kind of started to find their groove as the fatigue started to set in for Mililani, found themselves with easier opportunities. Pop Morris knocked down a 3. Grace Knox got a 3. There's people that are they're gonna continue to find those opportunities, but knowing that they have a tougher road ahead, they'll likely play Iolani tomorrow night, and then potentially have the opportunity to move into the finals if they're able to get past Iolani. And you see the opposite side of that bracket, Pinewood, Long Island Lutheran. So the level of play here for Etiwanda has to lift up a little bit, right? It's hard to play against that right now on your first day in the tournament, coming off the plane, the usual travel woes that you face. It's not as though they haven't faced it before, but coming to Hawaii, it's a different experience. It's hard not to feel like you're on vacation when you do get here, right? And then switch into basketball mode, knowing that you're going to face tough competition. So coming on a little slow, a lot of credit goes to Mililani. I mean, they've done an incredible job, I think, of having those moments, potentially stacking those moments. Just needs to be more of them.
With that, we'll take a break. We'll be back after these messages from our sponsors.
When you come to Iolani, something you'll constantly hear is one team.
Our one-team culture began in athletics.
In arenas that demanded humble leadership
and persistent teamwork.
Over time, this ethos has found its way into almost every aspect of life at Iolani.
Ways that are both felt and found in passing.
In its simplest definition, the idea of one team isn't very unique.
We've all heard it in speeches or stories about the team over the individual.
But this implies too little for a way of life we have defined with so much.
You see, one team values shape our education.
Pairing knowledge with character.
Passion with discipline. It reminds us of humility in success.
And persistence in failure.
One team reveals that the true impact of our education doesn't only lie with what we've learned.
It develops in us values that see the compassionate choice.
Choices that give back and solve problems that matter to all of us.
It's the understanding that when we stand for each other,
we lift each other up.
The one-team spirit endures in our global community of educators and students,
artists and entrepreneurs,
doctors and lawyers and researchers and leaders,
who all recognize that the greatest challenges we face are overcome when we work together as one.
This is what we pass on to our students, faculty, families.
Because we believe this is the most gracious way to live,
as well as the greatest foundation to go out into the world
with great poise, empathy, and determination.
Iolani School, one team.
Heart pumping, muscles extending. Every body is a miracle. And though we share so much, everybody is unique. What's your passion? Hold on to it. We're here to help with a personalized approach to a healthier you. Hawaii Pacific Health.
Hey, I got the job. So I can go part-time. Yes!
Some days bring new opportunities. First Hawaiian Bank can help you say yes to making the most of them. Manage your accounts, earn cash back, and when you need advice, we're here for you.
We should really get him into an art program.
No matter where your journeys take you, you can bank on the best. First Hawaiian Bank. It all starts with yes.
We're back here in the Lord Gym. Thank you to our sponsors for all their support here in the 40th annual Iolani Prep Classic. I'll set the schedule for you guys tomorrow. 3.5 games through. Punahou will take on Hanalani in the first game at 3:30. HBA will take on the loser of this game at 5 o'clock. Long Island Lutheran will take on Pinewood. That's the first semifinal at 6:30. The second semifinal, the host Iolani Raiders will take on the winner of this game. And then moving on, I'll turn it to you. You want to preview who we have coming for the Boys Classic, what people can also be looking forward to next week, starting on the 17th?
So we've talked about it a little bit earlier, but we're entering the 40th running of the Iolani Classic. Established in 1983, and if you do the math, that doesn't seem to add up to 40, but we had a couple of years, including a COVID year, where we did not have a tournament. So it is the 40th running of the Iolani Classic. You see the new logos up and around the gym to commemorate this, I guess, momentous occasion. And to match this momentous occasion is an incredible field. 7 mainland teams enter this year's Boys Classic, 4 ranked in the top 25 on ESPN in various locations: Brewster, Utah Prep, Oak Hill, and who's that last team in the top 25? We also have Wheeler. Imhotep. There's quite a few teams that are going to be really good.
Paul the Sixth.
Paul the Sixth, sorry. Paul the Sixth is that 4th team in the top 25. So a lot of really great teams, which also includes at Utah Prep the #1 player in the country, AJ Daibansa. You saw him on Team USA. They went out and got the gold in the under-17s team, along with JJ Manquit, the former Iolani Raider out of Hilo, Hawaii, now making his name at Utah Prep, a recent commit to the University of Washington Huskies, a top 50 senior in the United States. Right now at point guard, some consider him one of the best pure point guards in the country. So JJ Manquit will be returning, I guess, back home to Hawaii, along with his Utah Prep teammates. But there's also several other players on that team of note. Anthony Felici, who has roots in Laie, in Kahuku. And they'll actually be taking on Kahuku in the first round. So the boys tournament set to start next week, Tuesday, run through to Saturday. So 4 games Tuesday, 4 games Wednesday. And then the quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals. 16 teams. There'll be teams from the neighbor island, which includes Kapa'a. There'll be a team from Japan, Osaka Gakuin. And several teams from the OIA as well as the ILH. So well represented throughout the state of Hawaii and also across the country, really. But it should be an incredible Iolani Classic once again.
So talked about 16 teams for the boys. There's 8 teams here for the girls. 12 games on the schedule. This is game 4. Tomorrow, 4 more. Then on Saturday, there's a 2 consolation, or there's the games 9 and 10 for 7th place and then 3rd place. And then we have the Alaka Executive Girls 3-point contest. Then we have the next 2 that are going to be broadcasted by you guys at Spectrum. The Consolation Championship, scheduled to tip at 6 o'clock. And then the championship, scheduled for a 7:30 tip. Both will be on OC16 for you guys tomorrow will also be on XCast as well as their YouTube channel.
So for the first time, XCast is picking up the coverage of the entire girls tournament as well as the boys tournament. So a lot of XCast games. So if you tune in from 3:30 every day, the times shift a little bit. Come Saturday, they start a little bit earlier so we can get home a little bit earlier for the people that help and do all the hard work to coordinate the Classic. But on OC16 tomorrow night, you'll get to see Moanalua at Kahuku, the OA girls matchup. I believe it's the opening game of the OA regular season for the girls. And then on Saturday on OC16, you'll see the Consolation Championship, which is likely to have 2 local teams. Mililani could be one of them. And in the championship, oftentimes 2 mainland teams, unless the Raiders potentially can pull the upset over this Etiwanda squad tomorrow night. But you can watch those, the semifinals tomorrow night on XCast.
Finley coming off that screen, laid it off for Phillips. She lays it up and in to get the scoring underway here in the third quarter. Now Nelson passes over that double team in the corner. On the way up, Ota got it stripped. Alamo leading the break here. Brew cross-court skip pass. Alamo for 3. Too strong, rebound taken by McDaniel.
Really a beautiful skip by the Eagles right to the corner, squared up 3. I call that almost they call it a shooting gun type of shot where it's just kicking out straight to you. Shoulders are squared, feet are locked. Don't have to turn your body and you have the opportunity to do nothing but knock it down.
Kawamata's 3 comes up short. Rebound taken by the Eagles. Brew trying to back down Nelson. She had 2 screens and she ran into both of them. Finley with her third 3 of the night. Aaron Finley with the nickname Simba. 3 threes, 11 points on the night.
2 of those early buckets by Etiwanda coming off of sets.
All alone, Lagafuaina down low, off the glass and in.
Trojans do a nice job of finding those cracks and crevices. They've gotten trapped a few times. You saw those long hook passes that almost look like they're going to nowhere, but they connected them. Avoid the turnover and then find a way to get to the rim. So nice job by them, just kind of scratching and clawing, doing their best there on the defensive side. But when you get posted up by someone 5 feet tall, 5 inches taller or 6 inches taller than you, not much you can do once they get that deep.
Zen Nelson has it left wing. Bounce pass over to McDaniel. Knox just staring her down, waiting for her to do something. Now picks the pocket. She'll lead the transition, slow things down. Now Brew full head of steam. Once again, a perfect pass over to Phillips.
We'll see a timeout coming here for Mililani. Not 2 possessions directly. The rotations weren't where they needed to be. You saw the dump offs to the inside. So 1 rotation, but it takes multiple efforts to stop a team like this. If you can stay in the lane and stop the transition, stop the drive, someone has to dive to the backside to take away that, force the kick out. Then you have a chance possibly to close out and recover. But if the dump off goes directly to the last man standing, they'll get that bucket. No chance to stop it. So good timeout.
Timeout called at the 5:23 mark here in the third quarter. 44 points for Etiwanda, 17 for Mililani.
Despite the score, I've been impressed with Mililani. You can see what they've worked on through this time. I've seen them last year. I've seen them in years past, and there's been quite a bit of improvement by this team. The ability to handle it. I like Ota. I like Kawamata. Nelson's been scrappy. Manuel's come in and give good minutes. But it's been those rotations defensively. That's where you really always have to start. You can control your ability to play defense, right? You may not be able to get shots to go down, and the skills will come over time. But defensively, if you are committed to rotating, to getting in space, helping your teammate, being in the right spot and being aggressive, then you can hang in any game. And Mililani's done a nice job of that. You've seen some growth over them over the last couple of years, so very impressive by this coaching staff.
McDaniel has the top of the key. That pass broken up and stolen by the Eagles. Up ahead they go to Phillips. She has 8 points in this second half. In the first 3 minutes of the third quarter, 8 points for her. She's up to 14.
Eagles getting it however they want it really right now. They started this half going to a couple of sets and found some nice opportunities. Now it's been steals and transition, just working through, getting the steals, getting the stops, and then finding their way to the rim.
This time Autumn jumps into the passing lane, comes up with the steal. Kawamata jogging into the front court. Picked up by Alamo. Now McDaniel has it. 17 on the shot clock.
They've run this continuity a few times now. You get that back screen with the double stagger coming off, and Etiwanda's seen a lot of basketball over their time, so they're starting to read it, switching that double, not getting a lot of opportunities either to go to the rim or to get it coming off the screen. So I'd like to see them space a little bit better at this point, maybe open up some lanes for Ota and Nelson to get in there. She found some success earlier.
The shot hits the back rim. Knox with the rebound, pushes it up ahead. Finley gets fouled by Kawamata. This Etiwanda squad also, they're missing, or they're without one of their players right now, Chastity Rice. Transferred over December 27th. Coach Stan DeLuz told me that's the day she's eligible to play. They're coming from a different school. They're waiting for the addition of her. She has 2 offers, Seattle U, San Diego State. Just a sophomore, played with Mater Dei last year. Finley can't hit those free throws, but a second chance here for Phillips, but she walks.
So we were fortunate enough to do the first game of the day, Long Island Lutheran, with a big win over Punahou. And both of these teams, really great teams. Etiwanda, great team. Long Island Lutheran, great team, but so different. Just the demeanor on the bench, different. How they play on the floor, different, but both great teams. It's not as though you need to play a particular style to be successful. You need to know your squad. Everybody has kind of a different attitude and knows what makes them successful, and this is what is good for Etiwanda. They like to play kind of calm and collected and just kind of maintain. And sometimes you see it though. When the competition jumps, then you start to see that competitiveness jump.
Etiwanda called for a foul.
Almost to the point where you see a different team come out on the floor. Where was this life? It's like, we didn't need it. You know, we're okay. But when things turn up, then they turn up. And that's what makes it exciting. That's what I'm so looking forward to over the next 2 days.
Eagles trying to figure out who was supposed to stay on the floor. They had 7. Now, Finley and Knox head to the bench.
I'm sure at some point in this game, Trojans felt like there were 7 on the floor with their length, but that just looked like too many.
Nelson with the bounce pass over to McDaniel. Ota working on Hawkins. Stops at the elbow, he'll take a jumper. It's around the rim, no good. And Alamo with the rebound, pushing it up ahead. Serrano, step back 3. Comes up short, second chance here. Stewart puts it back up and in. She has 4 points. Older brother Jalen Stewart, a member of the Yukon men's basketball team, won the national championship last year with the Huskies. Right idea there from Kawamata. It's a little too far in front of Ota on that cut.
what they're used to against normal competition is not that type of recovery. You made the right read, you saw the back door, but that window closes quicker than they're used to. So you have to make a more perfect pass, saw the adjustment, and just threw it ahead of her.
Hawkins just kept tipping it to herself down low. And on the third opportunity, puts it up and in. Kellis Hawkins, a stud on the volleyball court. Signed to play at Wake Forest next year. Middle blocker.
You can see that quick jump, the good timing, the length. I think she could have a future in basketball if she so decided.
Right there, they find a cutting Trojan down low.
Really a nice cut. They caught it off that screen and roll, and the pocket pass dropped to the inside, and the finish by Ivy.
Under a minute to go here in the third frame. Ota will slow things down, bring it into the front court. Hand it off to Nihei. Over to Nelson. Now Kawamata has it in the corner. 13 on the shot clock. Uses a screen from Ivy. Now she's going to drive on Hawkins. 7 seconds. And a foul called. Ella Ramirez picks up that foul.
So we're at 9 o'clock here in Hawaii. And these girls at Mililani, they need to get to the central part of the island. It feels like a far drive for everyone here. Not so far a drive, maybe if you're on the continent. But they do have school tomorrow morning, and they'll get home likely around 10 o'clock, maybe a little bit later. So that's a little bit of the difference for a lot of these teams where the local schools are still in session. Iolani School is still in session, so there'll be school during the day. A lot of the mainland teams have come here to practice during the daytime, but they're on a semi-vacation at least for the morning and the early afternoon before the real games start. And to have the ability to sleep in a little bit, not such a bad thing.
Alamo over to Ramirez, back to Alamo. 2 seconds, runner in the lane, off glass, no. Rebound taken by the Trojans, and that'll do it for the third quarter. At the end of 3, it's Etiwanda 54, Mililani 20. We'll be back after this message.
Caring for the people of Hawaii has been HMSA's mission since day one.
As a father, everybody just wants the best for their kids. HMSA allows them to get the best health care they can get.
We believe in meeting you where you're at. That's why we have the largest choice of doctors, hospitals, and pharmacies across the state.
Having HMSA as a coverage, we know that we're gonna be covered no matter where we go.
Caring for you is our privilege. It's why we started this company. It's what we do today, and is what we'll continue to do tomorrow.
Hardware Hawaii, your Kailua hardware store. At Hardware Hawaii Kailua, helping you find what you need is our top priority. Take our lead lumberman, Eddie.
How's it?
He enjoys helping customers find what they need.
My customers are like my friends. It really makes my day when I get to help them out.
Right on, Eddie. Here in Kailua, we're here, ready to serve you. Hardware Hawaii. Customer first in Kailua.
Back here in the lower gym, last 8 minutes here of day number 1. Game 4 of 4. Eagles with the ball up 54-20. Stewart, her jumper, foot on the line, comes up no good. Trojans with the rebound, pushing the tempo. Kick out to Kawamata. Spins, stops at the elbow, kick out. And Nelson will reset things here.
So if you take a look, not sure if you can see it here on the broadcast, but Mililani wearing the jerseys there provided in part by the NBA. So every team got a set of jerseys. That'll continue into the boys tournament. They're wearing it on their home jerseys. You see Aloha Aina on the back.
Altos heave comes up too strong. Rebound taken by Hawkins. Saw HBA wearing it. Hanalani also wore those jerseys earlier. Step back jumper for Serrano, no. But Hawkins just too tall. Put back is good.
It's a really cool thing in conjunction with Nike. Kuhao Zane helped design that. Sig Zane, you may be familiar with his Aloha shirts, and a very talented Hawaiian artist and clothing maker.
Nelson. Three no good as Manuel and Hawkins get tied up battling for that rebound. Both hit the deck. Both get up, look to be okay. I'm gonna put you on the spot here because Coach DeLuce asked me this question earlier. He said he's in search of Korean barbecue. Where would you recommend him to go?
Ooh, oh. I think there's a few options, and more than a few options here in Honolulu. I recently went to Korea House, which apparently is the same family as Choi's Garden, and can't really fail there. But there's so many quality Korean barbecue establishments.
My first question to him was, do you want all you can eat or?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the easiest. Is he just going with he and the coaches, or is he going with the whole team? If he's going with the whole team, then maybe you have to go to Gen or
Sit the Rack.
Right.
One of those kind of, even Sura maybe. But he kind of hesitated when I asked him that question. He goes, well, we also have Grace Knox. Her birthday. They're going to celebrate it tomorrow night for dinner. So I don't know if that was also the plan too. But her parents are coming into town, and I guess Grace after the game was supposed to pick the spot for dinner tomorrow night. So I don't know. Maybe the pick is all on her, and Coach DeLuce is just his dream trying to figure out where he's going to eat by himself maybe after the dinner.
Well, tonight the coaches have the opportunity to either eat the pizzas that are provided by Pizza Hut here for the team. So as of last year, we started doing a post game on the first day where the local teams generally play against a team from the mainland. So try to get them together with each other to build some relationships, meet each other. Otherwise, it's only this competitive relationship and then they see each other in passing. But some of the coolest parts of a tournament like this is to have teams from different places, and for these teams to get exposed to not just Hawaii basketball, but to Hawaii culture. And for the Hawaii teams to get exposed to not just New York or California or the culture from these areas, I mean, the teams from these areas, but also what they talk about, what they do, you know? So they share pizza, and it was a tremendous success last season. A lot of posts via social media, pictures. We hope that continues even into this season, but we can only put them in that position, and we hope it flourishes.
Ota able to get the basket down low in the paint. Phillips. Baseline jumper, no good. The block by Manuel. And Brew through the contact, up and in.
Significant margin here for Etiwanda. Up by 40-plus points. But yet they have a majority of their starters here still in the game. Long Island Lutheran, we saw them up about 80 starters still in the game in the fourth. And why is that? The attempt is not to run the score up. The attempt is to get this team running, get them used to playing a full game because they know what's to come in the upcoming night. So they need to make sure they have their legs underneath them, their wind is there, not get used to just playing this short quarter and a half or 2 quarters and a half game. They know what's coming. They need to get in this routine of playing a full game of basketball. And again, regardless of the score, find a groove offensively, get used to the rims, get used to the ball, get used to the floor. And those are all things that are important, including the perspectives that you see when you're looking at the rim, the logos behind it. All of that matters. And the more opportunities you have outside of your warm-up to get a look at these baskets, the more helpful it is. And even that little edge could mean the difference against these really good teams, Iolani, Pinewood, Long Island Lutheran.
And then on top of that, too, it's the 2-hour difference that these Eagles see, too. It's 11:09 back in California for them. So they're going to play again tomorrow, scheduled to tip at 8. So they're going to have another game around this time. So they have to make sure their bodies aren't trying to go to sleep yet. But after the game, they can rest all they want. But
well, it depends where they're going to dinner tonight. I know they're going to have pizza. That's going to be an option for them, unless Grace Knox seems to find somewhere better. And there's a lot of great places to eat here in Hawaii. It may be a little late by the time they get out tonight. But I think with an 8 o'clock game, you even have the opportunity to go and have a really good lunch.
That is true. Knox goes down low. Phillips with the spin. She gets the bucket. She has 20 points. This will be a 30-second timeout. They're going to get some of their subs in. Will Coach DeLuce. But of note, I don't think we've seen Puff Morris in that second half. I think
she's
Coach
just stayed quiet.
DeLuce.
She's been in and out a little bit, but just stayed more or less quiet.
Coach DeLuce now talking to the new squad that he has on the floor. He was talking to me earlier about how he's so happy, fortunate that as a public school, they get to travel. He said normally it's reserved for the private schools in California getting to travel to these showcases, all of that. But he says with the success that they've been able to have and them being able to travel as a public school is just a blessing for this team. They get to go to Boston later this year, DC, all over the place to play these showcase tournaments, all of that, including down here to the islands for the first time.
No, what a tremendous opportunity for a lot of these teams, and especially the teams that aren't used to traveling. As we'll see later on in the boys tournament, a lot of academy teams that will come, and they play a national schedule. They're probably on the road more than they're at home. So they're completely used to it, getting used to that college life and that travel. But for these teams, a lot of these public teams, it's great that Nike gives them the opportunity, invites them to a tournament like this, to be here at the Iolani Classic. Lifetime memories. You know, a lot of times, even the teams from here, when we've had the opportunity to travel to New York City, to different areas, it's just different. And being on this island, it's different, right? And you don't get exposed to a lot of the things that are out there. A lot of these kids, these Iolani School kids, Punahou kids, Mililani kids, HBA, Hanalani, they'll all move on to go to college whether they play or not. But that exposure of another location just gives them an idea of what it's like. And, you know, you were a guy that played baseball. And I'm sure you traveled all over, and I know baseball goes to a lot of little towns that I've never heard of. But where do you end up going to college? You're in Marist, north of New York City in New York.
5,000 miles away, just like Long Island Lutheran. A little more north than them, but I had fun talking to Coach Radio about that. She goes, I know some of those coaches at the men's basketball, women's basketball. I was like, I worked with the baseball team, so I couldn't help you there. But
well, that, you know, the point being that your opportunities given to you from sports to travel and to see different areas and to make it a real thing to say, hey, you know what? I don't need to stay home for college. I can go away. I can find a spot. I feel comfortable. I've gone and done enough of this. So same thing here, just being exposed to Hawaii. A lot of people don't go to Hawaii the entire life, much less to come and enjoy and play basketball in it. So what a great opportunity for this team from
Rancho
Cucamonga. It doesn't sound like a real city, but it is.
Baptiste has it. 10 seconds on the shot clock. McDaniel with now 5 seconds. Someone's got to get a shot off. Pass is intercepted by Hawkins. Now Serrano push it the other way. Tried to go underhand to Stewart. That was broken up last touch by an Eagle. Trojans force a turnover. Nine different Eagles have scored in tonight's game. 8 different Trojans. As Baptiste has it. A try cross court, but Hawkins leaps up, snags that out of the air. Serrano driving and one. Crystal Serrano with her 4th points of the game. Looking for number 5 here from the line.
Somewhat unfortunate here for the Trojans. They've cleared their bench, giving players the opportunity to play against a team like Etiwanda. Etiwanda clearing their bench, unfortunately, and the unfortunate part is that one of the players that is on their bench is 6'3", Calif Hawkins. You know, you're used to going in against a matching set of players that don't get a lot of minutes, and it just happens to have a Division I volleyball player there on the backside who recently got the steal, protecting the rim, grabbing rebounds.
Now the double team comes for Baptiste, trying to dribble out of it and picks up a foul. Baptiste, that possession, probably ran, what was that, 150 feet, trying to get away. Finally drew the foul. With 16 seconds left in the game, shot clock turned off. We'll see what the Trojans can come up with here out of the inbounds. They go down low to McDaniel. Falling away from the basket, no. Second chance Worsley, that's blocked. That was tipped. Trojans will have another shot if they can inbound. They would have numbers, but the referee held the ball. The pass tried to get it to McDaniel, nearly hit Serrano. Stewart's shot to end the game, no good, and your final score in game number 4, Etiwanda 73, Mililani 26. We'll take a quick break, come back to recap, and set the stage for tomorrow.
When it comes to AI, there's something big happening. The smallest things are creating giant revolutions. At Worldwide Technology, we're at the forefront of AI. With our one-of-a-kind AI proving ground, cyber range, and full-stack approach, you can build, test, protect, and implement AI solutions that deliver for you and your customers in a big way. Worldwide Technology. Together, let's make a new world happen.
Heart pumping, muscles extending. Every body is a miracle. And though we share so much, everybody is unique. What's your passion? Hold on to it. We're here to help with a personalized approach to a healthier you. Hawaii Pacific Health.
Back here in the lower gym, final score in game 4, Etiwanda 73, Mililani 26. And with that result, we have all the matchups for tomorrow. Starting at 3:30, Punahou Buff and Blue taking on Hanalani. At 5 o'clock, HBA taking on the Trojans that we just got to see. 6:30, first semifinal, Long Island Lutheran taking on Pinewood, New York versus California. And in the nightcap, host Iolani Raiders taking on the Etiwanda Eagles. Your thoughts on today, tomorrow, what you saw?
Yeah, excited for what's to come for both of these teams. Etiwanda here in the Iolani Classic, going against the host Raiders. Always one of the funnest games to really be a part of. Iolani really has been the class of Hawaii basketball, won the last 5 state championships. Picked up an L last night in ILH play, but it's going to be a tough game for them tomorrow. Tough game for Etiwanda. It's going to raise that level of competition. And then even moving forward, what's to come, Pinewood, Long Island Lutheran matching up in the other semifinal, which you can find on YouTube. Also here again on XCast. And don't miss out, right? We got the OIA matchup. Moanalua at Kahuku. I'll be doing that game along with Felipe Ohastro. So that should be a fun one. And then back here, OC16 will be here for the Consolation Championship and the championship game on Saturday night. So again, don't miss that. Also, the Alaka'i 3-point competition. It's going to be a good one.
So that 3-point competition will split the games on Saturday. So the 7th place game goes first, then the 3rd place game, then the 3-point contest. Then you switch over to OC16 for the championship, for the consolation, and then the overall championship here in the Classic. This is the 17th year we've had the girls, 40th year of the boys tournament. The results from today: Long Island Lutheran defeated Punahou 105-22. Pinewood defeated Hanalani 60-38. Iolani defeated HBA 78-35. Etiwanda just defeated Mililani 73-26. For everyone up here in the broadcast booth, Shanika Aguilar running the table, the camera, all of that for us. Dean Shimamoto, John Tamanaha, Mike Among, Abby Tanaka. This is Carter Wechi signing off, saying aloha from day one, the Iolani Prep Classic presented by Hawaii Pacific Health.